I was going to say, like, that's so important what you said around, the like it's really easy to sell the dream, and I think that's where a lot of in today's trending topic of fintech funding, I think that's a big disconnect. And I don't think that, at face value, it looks great from both sides. But when you dig deeper, when you get into that actual process, what a freaking shit show.
It's disgusting. And also, I was so deep into Affinity that I was like, wow, no turning back now. I have a team of like 100 people. I was like, I want to close shop and move. I'm tired. I want the easy life. When you do these talks, like the one I did earlier on, you have a ton of like aspiring founders in the audience that come up to you like all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like how I used to be before I started this business. And then the first thing they say is like, oh gosh, we want to be founders too because it's so glamorous because they see the good results and they don't see anything beyond that.
Yeah.
The first thing I say, thank you. The first thing I say is absolutely, being a founder is fantastic. Do you like it when someone rams their hand all the way down your throat and rips your insides out every single day for the rest of your life? If the answer is yes, become a founder.
Yeah, I mean, it's no easy walk. And I thought, in the beginning it was like, and again, very early in my journey, so I am still, super excited. I remain positive, but it's also because I know what I'm doing. I'm not out just selling a dream. I know what it takes. I know that it's the hard work. I mean, we've really chosen the dirty graft that nobody likes to do, but it has to happen in order for the ecosystem to be successful.
You're necessary.
Thank you. At least I have a place in the world. That's great. Thanks for validating that. But it's also very, very, very scary. And yes, as much as it's liberating and it is powerful, and, for me, I'm trying to particularly encourage other females, African female founders, to vocalize what they need, vocalize how they're doing it, but also talk about their own journeys and businesses and that kind of thing, right? Which is a big driver for me. That does not take away from the fact that I have, again, in the short period of time, seen a huge power dynamic shift. Right? From when I would talk to someone or engage with someone or reach out to someone or attend an event in my visa role versus I'm the founder of Scale. Okay, what is Scale? What do you do? Do we care? You'll get some attention in real time. Is there any follow through? Probably not. Sometimes there is, and that's great. But how did you manage the power shift if you have experienced that at all?
Oh, I know.
And how do you feel about that?
So I feel like there are a couple of caveats that need to happen first and foremost, okay? Because I'm hyper aware of my privilege as well too. I have never been in the shoes of a female founder. Obviously I don't identify as female. And then the second thing as well too is, until my mouth opens and people know my name, et cetera, they don't realize that I'm actually Arab. They automatically assume that I'm white. So I come into this basically with a ton amount of privilege. Having said that, I saw a seismic shift when I moved from working for one of the largest hedge funds in the world, where everyone wanted to be my friend, to building my own startup, where I couldn't lead with the fact that I worked for the largest hedge fund in the world. All of a sudden, it was me on my own. There wasn't a business. There was a shiny presentation, and I was going around knocking on people's doors, asking for money, and it was debilitating. It was very, very lonely. But the one thing that happened, and there probably should be a name for this graph, basically. And I'm sure I heard the term founder's amnesia the other day, which I thought was interesting. We're going to coin the phrase at the end of this call. We're going to coin this phrase. But the graph that I'm talking about is sort of your expectations as you're pitching to investors, right? Because you're sitting there pitching to investor tries to poke holes in your business, right?
Yeah.
And when you leave and they can't poke holes into your business, but they don't invest, two things happen, right? You build conviction. So you're like, oh, actually, this is a valid idea, an extra data point, but they don't invest, right? Then you go to the next meeting, they try and poke holes. Again, they can't, or they might help you refine if you're very lucky and you have a good conversation. I still have those conversations with investors, potential investors, by the way, as well, too.
Yeah.
But what happens over time is you keep on getting rejected. So the perception from an investor until you actually launch and you don't have any traction, it's flat.
Yeah.
But your conviction keeps on going up.
Yeah.
And that delta between the two causes quite a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, it does.
Because, by the time you've had your 100th investor that's rejected you, and has told you no because, you have a stupid idea. I mean, they don't literally say that, but, or they tell you, sorry, we're not going to invest because we don't believe in the fit or whatever, but best of luck, I'm sure it's going to work out anyway, right? You get rejection letters like that.
You can invest in my fund if you like.
Yeah. So what ends up happening in that scenario is you're building conviction as you're going along. You're refining your model, you're refining your thinking and all that, but then the observation from the investor stays flat until obviously you launch and you get traction, and then all of a sudden you get better responses, and it does become easier over time.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this discussion, feel free to like our video and subscribe to our channel for more insightful conversations with founders and fintech pioneers. I also really like hearing from you guys, so if you have any questions, comments, or experiences, drop them in the comments below. Click here to watch the full episode, or click here to watch another.